Let's create a drag look together. This was supposed to be a tutorial for my signature drag, but I decided to experiment a little bit. Hi, my name is Ksenia Slay, and this is how usually my drag looks like, and today we added a little bit of spice. As I don't have eyebrows, I start with a skin prep. I already washed my face, made sure it's all clean and smooth, and put some of this on there and let it sit and fully absorb. But when I feel like I need it a little bit more moisturized, I would put No Cosmetics 120-hour hydration serum. It's, this one, I got it on the advance calendar this year. I don't like putting like moisturizer cream under my makeup because I feel my makeup slide after it a lot. But I think it depends on your skin type a lot. So I put some of this in. And while that absorbs, I get my hair out of the way. Usually for gigs, I would make hair with anchors to pin my wig, but for photoshoots or for videos I would just put on a bald cap. But today I'm gonna be putting on the wig that's quite heavy and quite moves around a lot, so I will do anchors anyways, even though it's just for the videos. The black bob I'm wearing at the beginning obviously isn't heavy and moving wig. I was originally gonna wear this one but changed my mind at the end. Now that the skincare has absorbed, I go with the primer. I have Perfect Matte from Kryolan, but I went into the store and told them what exactly problems I have with my makeup setting, and they chose it for me. So I wouldn't say that it's like a universally best primer, it's just what works best for me. And I put it now only kinda upper part of my face here, because I will be erasing bottom of my face to do my signature mask, so it doesn't make sense to put much product there because it's gonna be gone anyways. I had my favorite wig cap, which no matter how much you prick it, it wouldn't have holes, but I don't know where it went right now, so we're gonna use this one. Some of my makeup would go into my hairline, so I prefer my wig caps to sit a little bit behind it. I do bald cap methods sometimes. I've done it a few times depending on the wigs that I was wearing, but honestly I don't see the point of it, because if I do a bald cap method, it reduces the amount of face that I could use for my makeup, so I just like to keep everything as far back out as possible. And this primer doesn't get sticky, it fully dries when it's done, and it just feels really smooth. That's what we want. It kind of removes the pores and all of that stuff. For my base, I use Kryolan TV paint sticks. I have 4 of them. One is the white, one is the shadow, and 2 are my skin colors because I'm in between 2 shades. My skin color is in between shade 1 warm and 2 warm. And I was at first frustrated that I have to have 2 colors because these are quite expensive products. But actually now I enjoy having 2 because I could go a little bit darker, a little bit lighter based on how tan I am or just the outfit or vibe or whatever. So now there's gonna be a little bit of my mirror in a shot, I think. But I need my mirror now. I start with my contour shade, just cutting out my forehead. I know that the wig sits about here, so all of this is actually gonna be covered by wig, but the still like first wig hairs and stuff, I like to put it everywhere, so on camera it looks pretty light, but it is darker in real life, and we would put powder on top of it, so it's okay. After this is done, I go with my both skin colors, but just like a slight line, because there's not a lot of it is gonna be actually happening for the top part of the face. And right in there, warm number 1. And then we go in the rest of the face with just pure white. And I like to put a lot of coverage on here before I even blend, because after blending, putting more layers in it just looks patchy for me. So I just put as much product as possible right away and then just blend all of that together. And after I'm done with all of my layers of white, I go as close as possible to the other colors. And usually when I do it, my white here is smaller than I would like it to be. So when blending, I would be blending outwards, so starting from the middle of my face and just going out. And I just have random, pretty dense brushes for blending. I usually have this round one for the white, and then this are used randomly for everything else. And with blending, I kind of tap the color in instead of moving it around. If the bristles get a little dirty or a little too stuck together and start having streaks, I would use brush cleaner and like a towel in between to clean the brush. And make sure it's really dry before you put it on your face again, or it would lift color because brush cleaner removes color. And if there's some places that are kind of see-through, I would put a little bit more white on there. And I make sure at this point that my mask has all of the products that I need. For my mask, I just go from the corner of my mouth to this peak in my hair. And it's like a little bit dangerous here. I would have to blend it down. Here it's all good. I have a mirror here, but usually I look straight into it. So it would go like this. And when I get to the blending part, I angle the brush so it doesn't go straight in, but a little bit at like, this was for white and this goes for other colors. And now with the same brush, I could do my nose contour because it would be like a similar color. And just put some warm on the side. It doesn't have to be super perfect because I would be recarving it out with the contour and with the white later again. So this is just to get some color on the sides of the nose. And we're done with the top half of the face, kinda. Now we're doing the nose and the eyebrows. Right away on the wet, I do all of the wets before any of the dries. And I just use the same contour shade for the nose and for the brows and similar brush, just small angular one. And I have to stare really straight in the mirror again. And it's better because right now I'm looking down at it, so it's not in a camera, but usually I would have something under my mirror, so it's like at this level, kinda. And I just draw a line from the corner of the nose until the outside of the white here. So, oh! And the same thing goes for the eyebrows. I need to stare really straight in a mirror as I would look at the audience or in a camera for the eyebrows to be correct. And it's gonna be a little hard right now with filming, but we're gonna try. I load like a tinier brush with pigment. Usually I use like any brushes that I come across. This like doesn't matter, especially for big ones. But for the detailed ones, I do have Kryolan everything. And you would start your eyebrow where your real eyebrow starts. I do not have a real eyebrow, but I saw the hairs before I shade them off where they were. And also the midpoint of the eyebrow would be always above the pupil when you look straight in the mirror. But for most people, it would then go down or straight after that point, but for me it goes up. So we look really direct, and I like to start with that midpoint. I don't even know if the camera picks it up, but I have two tiny dots here where the eyebrows are gonna go, and make sure that they're the same height. And then I just choose the direction, how dramatic I want it to be. I think today, like 45-degree angle, probably this angle would follow my, like the slant of my eye a little bit. It would kind of go from here through this dot and continues. And now if they're like a little different, if this one is more to the right, then I could make it thicker to here and the other one thicker to the other side, so then like balance out. But they're pretty good. The only thing that this was not so straight, but because I need more thickness in there anyways, it's gonna be fixed right now. So I would usually now connect it to the eyebrow, but I realized that my white is a little bit patchy here. So let's go over it again. And now I just go in and fill in the eyebrows. I kind of drew the top line to know how high it needs to go. but not always. Sometimes I wanted to have a more natural look with a little bit more hairs, so then I would skip the top line. Now the spoon has makeup on too. So now that I have my eyebrows in, I need to clean out the nose and clean out the tips of the eyebrows. I would just go in with the white. And now I'm cutting the mask. There is not much science to it. I've just done it many times and I know exactly how the shape of my face goes. And the only way I found it possible to do it with is with a wet wipe or like makeup remover wipe. So I just look. The problem with this step here is that most of the skin prep is gone, but the makeup wipe isn't so strong that it like stripped everything out. But it still is pretty strong, so I avoided putting primer on the bottom half of my face originally, and I'm gonna put it all now. I don't worry too much about all of this like creasing going on here because I'm gonna reblend it before setting it. So I just let it be. Now that the primer is fully dry, I could finally do my skin color, and I just do the combination of warm white and warm 2. Warm white, warm 1 and warm 2. And I kind of put the lighter color already where the lights are gonna be and darker color where the darks are gonna be, but also next to each other because it's mixed, so it's pretty much a playground at this point. Okay, this one is lighter. Lighter would go everywhere where the light hits you. If we want to bring out the jaw for a more masculine look, I would put light here. But if we want to more feminine look, we would put everything darker. So I would just do whites in between here now. And now we just take any brush and combine everything while it's still really wet. I use like leftovers of the colors to color in my ears. It's important when you're performing because blood rushes to your face and then your neck and your ears are gonna be different colors than the rest of your face. So that's why we blend down as much as possible and into the ears as well. And now I usually kind of look if I like it. And right now I feel like it's too pale, so we're gonna go with more number 2. And first time I was swiping to combine the colors, but now I am like boxing the color in again so the coverage is better. And now with the same brush I would blend in the shadow on the nose. I mean the contour, I don't know why am I calling contour the shadow today. Too many vampire movies, too many Ink Master watching. And then I go in with the shadow. Contour shade again, but only on the brush because we need to really carefully cut out the mask. And for right next to the mouth, I like to go with some skin tone and not really have too much shadow happening here so it doesn't get muddy, but I will drag the tiniest bit of shadow into there when I blend. And now I go back and put like shadow under the lip to make the lip look bigger and the tiniest amount here. And also with the contour I'm gonna cut off this jaw line. Either with a new brush or with a medium color brush but cleaned, I go in to blend them together. I don't want there to be too much of the skin color on a brush because then it would make everything lighter and I don't want that. And I kind of squish it to make it into the shape that's more precise. And after this step, I like to refine the outline of the mask because it gets a little fuzzy here. I just do it with the same brush and the same method as I did the nose. But here, I'm just gonna line it and not blend it out. And now I just go in and blend in all of the creases before I set. But what I like to do first is to prepare my setting powder. I use this one, Kryolan setting powder. It is quite big to carry around, so I just have it in a portable container. But in attempt to make less of a mess, I sometimes put it in some type of bowl, so it's not on a table directly. And I also get out my powder brush and my powder puff. Now that everything is set out, I need something to blend in white and something to blend in the skin color. And I just go in and refine all of those spots that got creased or not well blended or anything like that. And here I'm not gonna speak because I need to not move my face. And then I basically smooth out a part of my face with a brush, then press some powder in the powder puff and set the part of my face that I just smoothed out, and I do that under one eye, under the other eye, and then the top part of my face. I took a little break, let the powder sit, and now I just dust it off. Usually this step is like almost the longest one, like the wet and to set it all, and it takes around 30 minutes. Right now it took longer, it was like 45 because I was speaking and filming, but without it it's pretty fast. And now the fun part, eyeshadow. Sometimes I would do the contour first, sometimes eyeshadow first, it depends. Honestly, let's start with the contour today. I have Kryolan contour palette. What's nice about them is you could customize them and put their 6 of whatever you want in there, and you could also put a cream in there if you need. But when I was buying it, I kind of didn't know which ones I would want to use more. So I got the standard one. This one is called Dual Finish 6 Color Modeling. And then they have like different names. And I just use the darkest one for my contour. But it also like warms it up a bit because the contours here are darker, warmer than the sticks that I have, so that kind of balances out the coldness of the sticks that I've used. And I don't do eyebrows yet. I would do them with some eyeshadow and pencil. In order to do that though, I would have to find my pencil sharpener, and right now I do not know where it is. That's a challenge. Found my pencil sharpener because without it, nothing is gonna be precise and really how I want it, and we don't want that. Weird thing that I do with my lash curlers, mostly for my daily makeup but for drag makeup as well, is I put them not in a pocket but just directly like this to warm it up from my body before I curl the lashes. Some people use fire, that's too extreme for me. With the eyeshadow today, I'm going a little bit for like a snake look. I'm gonna be wearing this jacket and just plain jeans because we're filming in a city. And I don't know, it was the year of the snake, so I decided to do some black and green and stuff. And I will be using my sampler palettes today. I haven't had them for a really long time, so I didn't learn yet which one has which colors. Okay, we have Neon Grunge. It has some black and metallic shimmers, but overall it's like too bright for a snake, but maybe this green would be useful. I would think about it, but probably no, I'm not feeling it. Then we have Energy. I remember Energy being quite warm, so also probably not. Or maybe Dock. It actually does have some green and green shimmers, the snake-ish colors that I'm going for. But the Neon Grunge had black and gray, which I would need as well. But I also have Mood. This one has some dark stuff, I remember. It's more like blue. I think I'm just gonna use combination of the Neon Grunge and Energy and do my makeup like this. I have 2 different ways I do my eye makeup. Number 1 is a cut crease with an arrow that's blended in, or Why do I mix up all of the words today? Why did I say arrow instead of a wing? Well, because in Ukrainian, this part of makeup is strilka, and direct translation of strilka is arrow, but I meant the wing. But I don't feel like doing cut crease today. It's not really snaky like. So sometimes I do like 2 different colors here and then gradient in between and then just a black wing. So I think we're gonna be doing this today. Okay, starting with a fluffy brush, I'm gonna start on the inside of the eye and do some lighter greens. We have this like swampy light greens and neon light greens. I would try to combine the two. Probably just dab all over and create the inner corner. Also, usually I have quite like straight inner corner, but today I want to try to do like a little swoop and to have more of an under eye going on. Today's gonna be a little experiment day. I actually like the neon grunge ones without adding the swampier green, so maybe we will stick with this for now. With eye makeup, if I do a cut crease, there is like rhyme and reason and algorithm to it. But if I'm doing the 3-color blend with a wing, it's a lot of just throwing shit at a lid and seeing what sticks. Especially since I'm having like new eyeshadow now and trying out new techniques. So this part is not gonna be so much of a tutorial because I'm also doing it for the first time right now. But I just try to have like different colors and have them blend next to each other nicely. And for the wing, I would get some powder again and press it in and create like a general direction of a wing with the powder, which first of all, it's a guide for me, but second of all, it prevents my face from getting dirty with the fallout of the eyeshadow. And I just pack some color on here. Not color, powder. And I could see that there's the same angle. And I'm not putting any powder in inner corners to not create like more creases with this part of the eye, but also because I want to put some color there today. I'm gonna now go with this like apple green again and place it kind of above my brow bone, but in a way that it like arrows to the corner of where I decided my corner is gonna be. I also just realized that later today I will be filming my Drag 2025 Wrapped, and that my look right now doesn't go at all with my presentations that I did. But we are now going with this look because I'm already too green to switch back to red. Okay, this is good. In between there's gonna be a shimmer, so we're gonna stop right there. And now I'm gonna go into the energy palette and start taking all of these greens to create this heavier like shadow at the bottom of the lid. With the same like pretty big fluffy brush first. Start just with the lightest green and go right under the previous color and just blend them really well. Okay, now that I like the dark parts of it, I bring in all of it together so it works properly. Because right now I feel like the dark is quite overpowering and the light isn't light enough. But I would just add some of this apple color right here to create more of a blend between the dark ones. And add even more of the neon in the pop. And as well drag this neon in here to make this kind of spot for the glitter to land onto. And I noticed that this is not even like not super straight here. There's like a little bulb going up. So I'm just gonna do it on the other side as well, so it looks intentional. And now I kind of squeeze the brush and get the darker one and really make sure that it's really visible right here and it's different from the neon blobs. Now to the glitter, I'm not super sure which one I'm gonna use. I want something light. I actually like the shimmer from the Mood palette because it's kind like this middle one. It's kind of green, but it's kind of neutral at the same time. And I used to have a problem with makeup that I could only pick up shimmer with my fingers, but with sampler it works with a brush, especially with this dense one. It always works. So I'm just gonna use that brush to pick up some of that glitter and place it in the middle of my lid. I love having glitter in here. Oh yeah, it looks really nice with this makeup. Good call on this glitter. The one thing that I'm still learning with this new palettes is that glitters are not exact copies of the mattes, because I used to have like the bright color. I used to work with this bright palette from Beauty Bay, and these shimmers were like duplicates of the mattes that they were next to. And this is more of each color is a unique color, and I'm not always sure how they would interact with each other. So I'm super happy right now with how it looks like. I don't know how well camera picks it up. It's really subtle. It's also really subtle in person as well. I hope that sampler would, or like eventually release individual colors, because they're quite new brand and that's not an option right now, but I could already tell that I would have favorites and that some colors are gonna be untouched. And because all of the colors come magnetic already, I think this would be a perfect move for them to release separate refills. Okay, and now with this step completed, I would go onto black liner lips and then try to do the new under eyes that I haven't done before. I'm gonna have a brown lip, so it's gonna be black outline. So I just sharpen black pencil and do everything. Oh no, I broke it, wait. It's pretty sharp right now, and the sharpest I need it for are actually my lips, so that's where I'm gonna start. I don't know if you noticed, but I have like a birthmark right here, which is covered up by my makeup, and I like to bring it back in my makeup. But my lip liner would be where the birthmark originally is, so I'm gonna move it. I just do some. Okay, so now I mapped out how I want my under eye to go and my lips. And before I set all of that with eyeliner, I just remove all of the powders that was under here. And I want to do some little eyeshadow underneath of all of this. Okay, so I'm gonna use the same darker greens as I used for the wing to go like outline this shape. Now we tied that green with this green, and this green I'm gonna go under the wing here to tie that also in. Starting with the lighter one because I am not sure if I want to go darker or not. And I'm not having it super tight here, I'm like flicking it off. So there's some more dimension there. I actually like this light green underneath, but I do want to add a tiny little bit of darker one. So I'm just gonna go with a really small brush. I don't have like a small packed brush. I don't know, I lost it somewhere, so I'm just gonna use this angular one and add just a little bit of dimension over here. But if I was doing my regular makeup, I would have gone with like pink or something to tie it in with a blush later, and I would have done just like a straight corner here. But we are experimenting today. And now I want to tie in the sparkle, and I actually want to pack sparkle all in like this space as much as I humanly can. Where was the sparkle from? From Mood? Oh yeah. So now I actually will take a smaller brush probably. I don't know how this is gonna go. Oh yeah, this works perfectly. Like this tiny brush, just a lot of pigment on it. And really put it in there. This line is not super similar, and I only am noticing this now, that this is much smaller than this. But I think it's easily fixable. But I would still put glitter first and then fix it later. I'm just gonna take the dark green again and bring this one up and blend this one down a little bit more so they look more similar. Much better. And now I have the Energy palette open and it has a lot of browns. So while I'm at it, I'm just gonna do my eyebrows. I'll just go in with like a lighter brown that they have in this palette and do the tip of my eyebrow. So I did a mistake with my eyebrows, that's why I'm like doing it again. I started with lighter brown and wanted to do darker in the middle, but it needs to be the other way around. So now I'm filling in with the darker brown, the tips. And then I'm gonna go with lighter brown, but I kind of want to have green in the eyebrow now. So I will probably do that as well. And the green that I want to have in there, I want to have the neon, the obnoxious one. So we're gonna go back to the bread green and have it in some hairs. I'm kind of obsessed, not gonna lie. And now the most interesting part, lips. I forgot that I got some nude lipstick, so I'm gonna try that today. I think first I would do the outline of the lips with the eyeliner. I use Catrice for this. I kinda am not feeling steady enough with Catrice eyeliners to do the outline of the inner thing, so I'm gonna use this gel pot from Crayolan with this tiniest brush. That was a good call. I should have done the outside lashes with it too, but we have a little spider now. I usually have huge eyelashes, but I really love my eye makeup today, and I don't want to cover it up, so I would try smaller lashes. This ones feel tiny to me. I damaged it getting it out of the package. Wait, we need to be careful now. I want to leave blush until the very end because I want to see how the lips look like. But usually I would have done blush kind of together with the eyeshadow because I like to blend them in at the bottom. But today it's gonna be later. Now this is the time I curl my natural lashes. I actually don't feel like I need to be curling my lashes, like they're not super noticeable with the rest of makeup anyways. But if they point straight down, I could kind of see them sometimes. So I just get them out of my sight basically. And also because these bottom ones are pretty strong, I would color my bottom lashes a lot today. But only in this area, not in the area where the glitter inner corner is. And now let's try the nude lipstick. I'm not sure how it's gonna work. I like the lipstick. I like that it's nude and you focus on the eyes, but it needs some dimension, but it needs to dry first. And lashes are kind of dry by this point, so perfect. I'm gonna put them on and see if they're too small. I feel like they could be okay if I place them closer to the corner of my eye. Let's try on the other side. You cannot tell that I have lashes on, I don't like them. No, we're not doing this. We're doing the big lashes, the normal drag lashes. I'm sad though because I kind of want to have some smaller lashes so my eye makeup is more visible, but I haven't figured out which lashes would show enough while being still there. And now for the lip, I'm just gonna get some black eyeshadow and make it more blended while the lash glue dries. I live for this lip. Come on. But it is currently gray and I needed more black, but I need to be really careful so I don't have a bunch of black pigment underneath my lips. Lip gloss would have been really good here, but I don't own a lip gloss, surprisingly. This is what I call a drag lash. Cut to the clip of me with other lashes on. So that's about it for makeup. I'm gonna put on the outfit and wig and see ya. I actually forgot the blush. I think some orange blush would go with this well. Not actually blush, it's eyeshadow also in a compact, but it's easier to use. Oh yeah. And this is how the look turned out. I'm really happy with it. And by the way, this is it after a few hours of filming because I was late for an appointment, so I didn't film the intro and outro until I got back. And I had drinks, I had pommes, I had photoshoot outside, and I didn't even need to retouch my lips this whole time. Perfect. Stay slay and have a lovely day.